here at the Warner Brothers booth with Steve Pritchard, and we're here to see Aragorn's Quest, Lord of the Rings Aragorn's Quest for the Wii here today. And so if you'd like to introduce yourself and tell us what we're looking at.
Okay, I'm Steve, Dev Director over at Headstrong. And what you're seeing here is Aragorn's Quest, Lord of the Rings, first Lord of the Rings title that Warner have put out since getting the license back and taking away from EA. And what they asked us to do was turn it into a much broader audience title, stop making it gritty, photorealistic, film reference, and just open it up to a bigger audience. And the Wii's perfect for that. So we took a little bit of a different slant on it, and we took a game that we felt was appropriate for a broader audience, but perhaps the violence of the film just took it away a little. So for this game, it's very much more family friendly. You can see it's much more colourful, a little bit more non-EA if you wish. But we tried to keep it in a position where the core Lord of the Rings audience won't be turned off by that, because there's still nothing there for them to do.
You mentioned the core Lord of the Rings audience. It's been quite a while since the films. Are people still interested in Lord of the Rings?
Lord of the Rings has and always will be huge. As a gaming sort of ideal, it's where everything else came from. It's a fantasy game. It's swords, it's bad guys, it's magic, it's everything that basically is core fantasy. And fantasy does have a huge part in gaming. It's not just all guns these days. I mean, there's an awful lot to choose from.
Well, Lord of the Rings is quite a grown-up world, really. I mean, quite dark fantasy in its way. So how do you make that family-friendly?
Well, what we've taken is we've taken a slant on it where the War of the Ring is done. Sam has gone home. He's now Mayor of Hobbiton. He's had a few kids, and now he gets to tell the story of what happened to his children. So he can do it in a very sort of family-friendly way in terms of his perspective. So where Tales of Great Glory is one thing, describing how people get hacked apart and cut to pieces, describing all the bits that kids wouldn't find fun, like the romance and the travelling and all the dull parts, he distills and takes them away and gets to embellish on the core bits which were exciting for children to hear. So a good example is when he talks about Moria and tells the children about Moria. If he was honest, it would be, we went into a dark place, we ran away from goblins, we ran away from a Balrog, and someone died. That's not fun. So Sam gives it a lot more. He talks about giant spiders in there and trolls and exploding things, and it basically just makes it more of an exciting tale for children.
Okay, and we're looking at the Wii version here today. That's what you've been working on. I understand there's also a PlayStation version with Move compatibility, yeah?
Yes, indeed. This basically after we were almost getting towards finishing this one, when Sony announced Move, it was quite obvious that it was a good substitute for the Wiimote, and a PS3 audience are going to be just as suitable for this sort of game as a Wii audience are. So yeah, there is a version of this coming out for PS3 and Move.
And what are we looking at that's new today? What haven't we seen before that's at E3?
This now has got basically the entire game is now finished. What we saw before last E3 was just an early part of Moria, which we'll be playing in the background here. And what we've shown you now is everything that Aragorn can do. His riding, his shooting, his using a spear. It's basically everything that is a whole Aragorn experience you now get to see within the game. So all the levels from start to finish, right down to saving the world. That's what Aragorn does.
How do the motion controls work exactly?
You basically, your left hand is going to be whatever you carry, normally a shield, your right hand with your sword, and it is literally one-to-one movement. So it feels very natural to move a sword like that and to move a shield like that. You can also switch your left hand into a bow, use it for targeting at distance. When you're on horseback, carrying a lance is quite a handy thing to do, just for breaking targets away. You can carry other things like a burning brand to scare away animals, burn things away. You've got very much a direct relationship to whatever's in your hand and how you feel you should use it.
But no intentions for a Kinect version just yet?
I can't say whether Warner Brothers have an idea for a Kinect version. I'm hoping we don't have a Kinect version in plans.
Okay, well it's looking in good shape. When can we expect to see Aragorn's Quest?
A press will tell you that specifically. I think it's due out Q4 this year. I'm not entirely sure of the release date, but I'm sure they'll tell you.
Okay, that's great. Thanks for your time, Steve. All right.